Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive.
Game over!
Take it light.
Now you're more fluent.
He's got three!
Up, Bears.
So this is really good right here. Absolutely. Let's do it.
Welcome back to Texas Rangers with the Boys. We are the Boys, your daily Texas Rangers podcast by a couple of pro wrestlers who love Rangers baseball. We want to thank you for making us the first listen of your day. This is your boy Kev, a.k.a. YBK Kevin Frazier. Man, these are the tough ones. These are the tough shows. You know, we're not going to always be the best team in the American League West when we do this show. So there's going to be tough days ahead, and we're in the midst of some tough days right now. Trade deadline passes. Rangers make some moves. Rangers make some adjustments. Lots of lineups flopping and flipping and stuff going on. But the Rangers not seeing those results on the field necessarily against this St. Louis team. And, the trade deadline has passed. And I think now we can kind of settle in a little bit and go, all right, this is what we got. And then we're going to do the best we can with what we got. This is your boy, Kev, a.k.a. YBK Kevin Frazier. You can find me on social media, Kevin Lee Frazier. You can also find Texas Rangers with the Boys on social media, TX Rangers WTB. Don't forget to check out that website, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
That's one word.
And also, don't forget to check us out on YouTube if you want to see our made for radio faces on here. Go to your YouTube app, or does people probably don't even go to YouTube on their computer anymore. Go to YouTube on your app, type in Texas Rangers with the Boys, and I'm tell you right now, you'll find us. And just click that subscribe on the Sports Fluent network. You heard or saw the introduction here. So come check us out here on YouTube. And big shout out to our farm hands who are subscribers to our exclusive content down on the farm with the Boys, where we cover all things Rangers minor league. Joining me, as always, my co-host, the 300-pound man, a.k.a. Bull. Man, are you all right? Because I'm barely all right.
It's just baseball, buddy. I mean, they still got third of the season left, and got some favors this week from the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Boston Red Sox, so it's not the end of the world. I mean, they're still, 4.5 games back, so, I mean, nothing changes that. It's not the I personally, look, I've been waiting a long time, 30 years, 29 years at the time, to watch the Rangers hoist a world championship. Watched it happen. Now, of course, I want them to be competitive this year and be right back in that World Series hunt, because how much fun was that last year, getting to do that during the whole, all the way up until November and all of that stuff. So, of course, I want that. But I'm not going to be brought down too much by not being able to repeat. I still would like them to be a little bit more competitive when it comes to showing up in St. Louis and laying just a big egg the last two nights of the series. And a 1-5 road trip was not what we were expecting coming out of wins, the 5-game winning streak that they were on. So it was. It was a tough weekend, but we're doing fine over here. We're getting through them. Got to tell everybody the social medias. So Manimal Bull on Twitter, Manimal300 on Instagram, and Bull Pro on both Facebook and TikTok. Also want to let you guys know that October 18th is the date for the 2-year anniversary show for Matt War Pro. So looking forward to that big day. We'll have more about it when we know about it. Also confirmed that the old Manimal and Kevin Douglas will be taking in opening day this year up in Ann Arbor at the Big House for Michigan college football. So big shout out to our boy John Racheski for taking care of us on that. John, not only a big fan of the show, but also part of the fantasy league and just an all-around good dude, and we really appreciate him hooking this up and making Kevin's dream come true. That's really what we're doing here, because I could care less about Michigan football, but Kevin's one of my best friends in the whole world. He's my brother, so I would love to be there with him to watch him take in this experience and see his, like, a bucket list type thing come off of his list. So very cool stuff. So if we, if we don't make a show that weekend or Monday or whatever, Labor Day, we may not make it. We'll see what happens. But we just wanted to take that time just to shout out John Richesky for being a cool dude. So. Anyways, I'm ready to start talking about Ranger baseball whenever you are. I guess we could probably talk about Andrew Chafin first, huh?
I mean, if anything comes of the 2024 season, is we got one of my guys on the team.
The sheriff.
Man, I have been waiting for the Rangers bullpen to have a guy with long hair and a must-handle mustache that looks like some dude from what was that show that, like, the Trailer Park?
Kenny Powers, right? Well, he looked kind of like Kenny. He looks kind of like Kenny Powers to me, like from Eastbound and Down. Yeah, the Danny McBride. That's kind of like.
I've been waiting for a guy. Every bullpen needs a guy like this, man. You got to have some long-haired dude that looks like he don't give a you-know-what about
weighs
nothing.
About 245, 250 pounds.
Yes.
Probably has hair similar to yours and mine. A beard never hurt anything.
No.
He has a nice, solid, like the one they call Mander's handlebar mustache. If we're talking about facial hair, he also lives in an RV.
This guy is like he is like
heaven is what he is.
Yeah, I can't wait to go on MLB The Show and put him on my Rangers team.
Yeah, update those rosters because he should be there. I'm looking forward to seeing the Rangers at least be competitive enough here over the weekend for to get a chance to see him pitch.
Like, tell me that you're not excited about that.
That guy is everything baseball should be.
He
looks like, you know who he looks like? Rod Beck. Remember Rod?
Yes, he's like a kind of a more fit Rod Beck.
Yeah. He doesn't quite look as old as Rod Beck looked at 15 or whatever, when Rod Beck was like 23 and looked like he was 47. He looked like old Curly.
Yeah, I love these kind of acquisitions. I think every team needs at least one of these kind of guys, if not more than one. And I do think it's an improvement for the Rangers getting him on the bullpen, lefty with some gas. Honestly, potential closer type stuff. If that opportunity ever presents itself, but I mean, you talk about shoring up the seventh inning and giving you a guy when you got back-to-back games and you can't use Robertson and Yates after, say you have a 3-game sweep and you're coming in and you got a close game and you got both those guys are down and you need a guy to come in and get you something done. He can do that, but he can also come in those leverage situations and a lefty, man. So like the versatility is really great. And the Rangers needed a guy like this.
Opponent hitters are hitting 188 off of him for the season. He's been pretty good. I think he has that stone cold ERA though.
That 3.16.
3.16. Yeah, that's a wrestling reference for anybody that's listening to the show that doesn't know that we're professional wrestlers, even though we say it every day at the start of the show. But anyways, man, he's one of those guys that I saw him with the Tigers earlier in the year. I think we both talked about how much we liked him, how much of a fit he would be in this bullpen, especially with the Rangers not getting any production at all from Brock Burke this season. And as good as Jake Latz has been in his rookie season, you could tell the fatigue is kicking in a little bit with him. These last handful of appearances is pretty good yesterday afternoon, but I mean, it was already 10-1, so I mean, not like the, Cardinal bats are trying to get out of there as fast as they can at that point too. So, overall, I mean, you know what happens when you make a trade, right? I mean, I like Chafin, but you gotta send some prospects away to get a guy like Andrew Chafin, and the Rangers sent Chase Lee, who a AAA sidewinding pitcher from Alabama. And then the piece that I am sad about is Joseph Montalvo. Me and Kevin have featured Joseph Montalvo a couple of times this year on our top 10 over on the Down on the Farm with the Boys show. He was putting together a really nice season at Hickory, but again, there's been a ton of guys that have put up nice seasons at Down East and Hickory. You got to see it again going through the Texas League, and it gets harder and harder as you get up there. We've seen a little bit with Winston Santos struggle a little bit since his move up to the Texas League. Looking forward to seeing Mitchell Brott's first start this year at the Texas League. But I'm getting off topic. Joseph Montalvo was starting pitcher, right-hander. Pretty decent stuff. He's going to head from Hickory to probably wherever the Detroit Tigers play high A baseball at as well. Chase Lee, I don't think Chase Lee is a major leaguer. I think he's pretty close, but I think once the deception wears off of him throwing from his hip or throwing from the ground or whatever, there isn't a lot to go with it. There's, an 88 to 90 mile an hour fastball that pretty straight. And if he's going to try and get you to chase something that's a million miles out of the strike zone. So I don't know that he's got a lot of like Grant Anderson kind of in him where, he's deceptive. He may get away with some things for a couple of months or even half a year, but at some point they're going to catch up to him and they're going to smash him. But still liked him, still liked what he was doing at Round Rock when he is healthy. But at the same time, I just don't think that he's a major leaguer.
Yeah, he probably would have done for the Rangers what he's probably going to do for Detroit or wherever he ends up getting his major league debut. Probably give you a few good months.
Yeah.
And then probably catch on after a while.
And in Detroit right now, they're playing to be bad, so he may get an opportunity as early as this year to get on with the major league team, and they may find out real fast.
Well, we couldn't be more excited to get Andrew Chafin here, and who knows, man? I mean, he was on a very team-friendly contract last year, about a little under $5 million.
Can I just say real quick regarding the trade deadline? How in the hell was Tommy Pham not on anybody's roster on opening day and ends up with Chicago? Dude, that guy is a man. He's been the spark in the arm that the Cardinals have needed all week. And, they trade him and get him in a piece with Eric Fetty, who we talked about last week. We raved about Eric Fetty and his ability to be around the strike zone but never really be in it. So I just, how was Tommy Pham not on anybody's roster playing for the White Sox on a league veteran or a veteran league minimum? That's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know how, but it happens every year. I mean, it really does. Like, I mean, this year free agency probably was one of those kind of, I don't want to say anomaly years, because we see them every now and then where the market's just not there. And honestly, like even at the trade deadline this year, like there wasn't a ton happening because I think a lot of teams are happy where they're at and they want to see what they've got with what they've got and they want to roll with where they're at. And there's just been too many times where teams make a bunch of moves and it really doesn't get them any further forward in the year that they're trying to get further. And then it sets them back 2 or 3 years, the next couple years with like being able to develop players and contracts. And I don't know. I think we're kind of seeing a little bit of a shift. And again, it depends on how big of names are out there too. So
yeah, I thought the Giants did a good job of getting decent return when they decided to become sellers. They're kind of late on Monday night going into Tuesday's trade deadline or whatever. So there were some good looking trades and some teams got kind of rich. Anaheim did a pretty good job. So it was an okay deadline.
Yeah.
With the wild card being expanded as much as it has been, and then on top of that, both Houston, Texas, Seattle, or those three teams all kind of being bunched up there in the AL West, not even in the wild card race at all. It kind of closed down some of those teams that would normally have been sellers. So, I don't know. I don't know exactly if that changes the dynamic or not. But if you're 3-4 games out of the wild card and you feel like you're playing pretty decent ball, you end up not being a seller, or you kind of do like what the Rangers did, where you sell a little bit, you buy a little bit, hope that things come back around, you're getting healthy, whatever the case may be. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. But, there's some other good things going on in the organization as far as those injury reports that we were talking about getting healthy.
Yeah, we talked about Tyler Mahle at length, and I guess now he's at Round Rock.
Yes. He pitched tonight or last night at Round Rock.
So he pitched at Round Rock. Did he go 4 innings?
4 2/3, so up and down 5 times through 75 pitches. So basically exactly what they were looking for. They wanted 5 or 75 pitches. Got to 75 pitches. He was through 4 2/3. So pretty much exactly what they were hoping to get from him tonight. And I would be shocked if his next start wasn't in Arlington or wherever the Rangers happen to be. I mean, it's time. He looked good. He was sharp. He had 4 strikeouts in the 4 2/3 inning. The slide piece looked really fantastic from the clips I've been seeing from Twitter. So I would have to believe that Tyler Mahle's next start in the organization will be with the Rangers.
So there you go. I think it's high. I mean, it's definitely going to be needed because Cody Bradford, and we'll talk about this a little bit. He definitely he's a guy
rusty, huh?
Well, and he can't miss. Like he has to be. He's like Grant. It's like we talked about Grant Anderson earlier. Like guys without like blazing speed, like without blazing velocity, like you can't miss. You have got to be like pinpoint, unless you've got one of those pitches that are just, one of those that one guy that we faced, I think it was against Chicago, that just threw straight sliders and nobody could hit the dadgum thing until he left one hanging. And I think it was maybe Simeon or somebody took him deep. But either way,
that was Fetty, right?
Was that no? I'm thinking of the was it the reliever?
Oh, okay. You're talking about the kid that threw nothing but frisbees. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just out there. But I mean, nobody could lay off of it. Simeon couldn't lay off of it. Langford couldn't lay off of it. So,
and Bradford definitely isn't a guy with one of those pitches.
No, and I think the big deal here was just like it's going to be good to see that, because I don't think Dunning and I don't think Bradford are the answer in the rotation. So I definitely think seeing Mahle come back is going to be big for the Rangers. I think they're going to need it.
Yeah, one more thing with we forgot to talk about Jonathan Hernandez being the DFA.
He got DFA'd. Yeah.
Yeah, out of options. He's gonna come. I mean, also Davis Wenzel was sold to the Reds for some cash after being designated as well. So yeah, the Rangers. I mean, they had to make a move. Jonathan Hernandez. I mean, as good as he's been. In certain times in the past this year, the performance just wasn't really there, and that's kind of 2 years in a row, and they had to eat a full option last year with him. So it just ended up being time for Jonathan Hernandez. Someone's going to take a chance on that arm. It's great. It's a great arm. It's just got to find out how to get the results with it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you hate to see that, because you're right. Nobody's gonna. Somebody's going to take a flyer on him because
someone's going to send him some money or a player or something for him.
Yeah, and then the Rangers are also like, these guys aren't that hard to come by. It's just the Rangers don't seem to get it.
I mean, hopefully the idea is there's about 10 of them between Frisco and Hickory right now. That's the idea, I think.
Well, what are we talking tomato here with these guys? Because
pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, really, like
they went and got 6 more of them in the draft this year that are relief heavy guys that they plan on finding guys that are going to get outs for them in the big leagues and get outs for them in a bullpen. And I think next year is the first year that we may see a bullpen that's going to be mostly younger guys and guys that we're like excited to see because, they're the Hales, Rocker, those guys may be in the bullpen as early as next year. Rocker may be in the rotation for all I know. But we'll see what he looks like. But if his stuff is what his stuff was Friday night last week, like it's Skeens like.
Yeah, he's a bona fide freak of nature, dude. He really is just a specimen.
Speaking of freaks of nature, you set me right up for that. Jake DeGrom throwing a 45-pitch bullpen. Everything's feeling good. He's going to pitch to hitters at some point here coming up, and let's hope that he's back on the road to recover and he's throwing rehabs ASAP, and we can start talking about Jacob DeGrom making starts for the Rangers again.
Yeah, I think with the Rangers, it's like, as the team goes in terms of their success level, what does that do for the intensity of like bringing back DeGrom? I guess for me, just personal opinion, like we're paying this guy a ton of money. I want to see him play. I don't care if we're in the playoffs or not.
Yeah, I don't care either. He's Jake DeGrom. I want to watch
Jake DeGrom pitch. So
yeah, I just want to watch him pitch. I don't care if it's I don't care if the Rangers are in a pennant chase or not at the end of the season. If he's healthy and ready to go, I want to see Jake DeGrom pitch.
Yeah, I'm in that same boat. So like, I'm not really interested in slow rolling this guy not because of his recovery, but just because of maybe the Rangers maybe not being in as much contention. Like, I'm ready to see Jacob DeGrom go out there. And honestly, I think the maturity, the intensity, the veteran leadership, like there just needs to be a little bit more of that. I think that's going to help the team as well. I think also too, Jacob DeGrom has a certain adherence to excellence that I think this team could use a little bit of that influence, veteran influence right now, just because just seems to be a lack of focus with the Rangers when it comes to like night in and night out and what they're able to come out, what they're going out and doing night in and night out, or just not seeing that focus that we'd like to see from our squad.
Yeah, I agree.
DeGrom, you like to think DeGrom can bring some of that, and it might make a difference just in the overall, chemistry and the overall
quality of the team. Yeah.
Yeah. Just all that together. So anyways, aside from DeGrom, we got DeGrom. We talked about Molly. We talked about the trade. We talked about the guys that got let go. What else we got going on?
Well, we're just we got some minor league. We got to tell them about this minor league thing that we do.
That was one of those really, really.
So we got to do that.
Right there.
Well, I was just going to recap what we've done and go on to what we still have to do.
Love it. Well, do what you were going to do then.
Yeah, at this point, though, honestly, we're going to talk about some box scores that aren't going to be pretty.
Yeah, we are. So
before we talk about we don't have any preview to like get us excited about the next day because the Rangers are off today.
Yeah. Well, this gives me an opportunity to tell you guys, we talked about Rocker. We've talked about Skylar Hales a little bit on the show. And we talked about some of the players that the Rangers traded away. Well, it's a good thing we're past the trade deadline because now we know what we got. We know what this team looks like. And we can now start to devise our top 40 prospect list. And we're going to talk about prospects number 40 through 31 this week. And it's going to be on our exclusive content. Talked a little bit about it earlier. It's called Down on the Farm with the Boys, where we cover all things Rangers, minor league. It helps you make us your one-stop shop for all things Rangers organization-wide. All you got to do is go to Spotify and click that subscribe button. It's just $1.99 a month. Truly the bargain of a lifetime. The bargain of 2024. It's the best bargain of 2024. Like truly, such a great bargain. It should never go on. It doesn't even have to go on sale because it's such a great bargain. So go to the Spotify page, or You can go to our website, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
All one word.
And on there, you got the same thing. You click that subscribe button, takes you straight to the Spotify page. Subscribe today. You won't regret it. We're going to talk tons of minor league baseball over the next 4 weeks, and we're going to get you familiar with the best prospects in the Rangers organization. And we're going to rank them because everything's been shook up, man. We got players drafted. We got players coming in from trades, and we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, did you see that today? Pablo Guerrero, in his first outing at Down East on his 18th birthday, hit himself a big fly.
18-year-old at Down East playing A-ball, part of a legacy family, a Major League Baseball legacy family. And I bet you anything, Pablo Guerrero is going to be on one of those shows that we do over the next 4 weeks. So
there's no doubt he's on there. He's going to be higher than people think too.
If you want to find out, all you got to do is subscribe to Down on the Farm with the Boys. Gives us a great opportunity right now to thank all of our farm hands who have stuck with us all year, who do subscribe. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. Guys, gals, thank you so much. Well, we got to do it, I guess.
Well, we had the two old men pitching on Tuesday night. We had 37-year-old Lance Lynn and 40-year-old Max Scherzer. Well, those guys were in the game. It was a relatively decent game. Close. Scherzer having a little bit of tricep soreness. Gets 4 innings. Not his best 4 innings, but they were still in the ball game when he left. Cody Bradford was awful, to say the least. I don't know. I could say more about how awful he was in his 2 innings of work the other night. But Garabito continues to get outs for the Rangers. I know this is mop-up work and all of that stuff, and I know he'll be a guy he's probably the option the moment that Tyler Mahle gets put on the roster. But at the same time, I mean, the guy's got a 1.04 ERA, and now he's got to be getting close to 12, 15 innings, something like that. So good for him. But the Rangers pitching we were really excited to get Bradford back, and not a great appearance. But at the same time, he wasn't super great in his first appearance this year, and then picked it up through that Houston series. And so we'll see what happens with Bradford. But, first game back, can't be too mad about it. If you want to talk about the Rangers offense, you can, but there ain't much to talk about.
I mean, I guess you could get excited about Wyatt Langford's 6th home run.
Yeah.
That's about it, right?
No, that's about it. Yeah. No, they just had 1 walk. They just had 4 hits, a run, the Wyatt Langford home run. Corey Seager's 28-game on-base streak was broken. Not much to like. Josh Young got a hit in his first at-bat back. I got nothing else to be excited about for that. I guess one thing you can look at and be excited about was they didn't strike out a ton. They made pretty decent contact, just right at people. I mean, it was ugly. 8-1. Bradford gives up 5. Scherzer takes the loss. Lance Lynn gets the win. Cardinals hit the ball all over the place. Tommy Pham pinch hit grand slam. You don't hear that very often. And like I said, Tommy Pham, man, I mean, he's come in and been like that spark that the Rangers kind of needed to get themselves. So,
yeah,
who knows? But at the end of the day, Rangers not very good on Tuesday night, and that bled right into Wednesday. Before we get there, though, Lance Lynn with the win, 6-4, 4.06 ERA. Max Scherzer with the loss, he's 2-4 with a 3.89 ERA. So, ugly stuff on Wednesday night, and it didn't get any better last night. Heaney gave up 3 runs in the 3rd, ended up giving a couple of more up in the 5th. Leclerc couldn't do anything to get anybody out. And then I guess Dunning gave up a couple of runs, right? And then Jake Latz had a pretty good performance out of the bullpen, just the one hit to the 3 strikeouts. But yeah, overall, this is probably Andrew Heaney's worst start in 3 months. Leclerc's worst outing since the last time he had a bad. I mean, it feels like it's been a minute since he had a really bad outing like this. Wasn't really put into a great situation, but he didn't get nobody out either. He was ahead in all of his counts and somehow lost guys all over the place. So, not much really doing for the Rangers pitching staff on Thursday, and they give up 14 hits, 10 runs. Just one walk, though, if there's a silver lining, just the one walk from Heaney early in the game. But just another example of the Rangers have been riding pitching all season long, and they haven't been scoring any runs. Not that it matters anyways. They scored 1 run apiece in both of these games. It's not like if the pitching was brilliant that they were going to win those games anyways. So it's just been a rough go for the offense after a pretty nice little night on Monday night, and just not much going. Again, the same thing. I mean, 5 hits, 1 run, and a walk. Again, another good sign. They only struck out 3 times, but they hit the ball hard several times. But the kid McGreevy did a good job of shutting the Rangers down, and I thought for a major league debut, he had a really good one. And the Rangers got shut down by a pitcher that had a 5 ERA in AAA.
Yeah, Rangers got to get a little bit more from their $500 million middle infield right now. And again, like I'm going to talk about Semien first, and I'm going to be probably a little harder on Seager than you probably think I should, and that's okay. Like you don't have to agree with me, but I'm just going to give my 2 cents on these 2 guys. And again, like we love them. They're Rangers for life, like period. Like we'll always be Rangers. But like, Bull, like we've been friends for years. Like, hey man, if we had to have many hard conversations as friends, especially as competitive athletes together. And many a time we had to have conversations, and you got to be real with yourself sometimes when you're not doing what you need to be doing. And when it comes to Semien, especially right now, like when you're getting paid what he's getting paid and you're being relied on to do the things he's being relied on, the defense has been, unbelievable. But that's not why he's here. He's not here because he's the Ozzie Smith of second baseman. He's here because he hit 46 home runs for Toronto and almost won an MVP a couple years back. And he's here because the guy can hit, and that's what he's here for, and that's what he's paid the big bucks to do. And I don't care what the WAR says. What I'm looking at is a guy projecting to hit 22 home runs this year, when we kind of expect a little more. We do, and it's also like it's not just the stats. Like I know the numbers are not. When you're looking at a lifetime. Well, you can't go on his lifetime, but a 246, 316, 405 split when you're used to seeing a guy slug around 500 and get on base at around 340, 350 ideally. There's that, but I think it's also too the timing. Like when we've needed him. Like I'm okay if you go on a slump when the team's playing good and you're going having a rough time. But when the team needs a pickup, like when we're struggling, we lean to these guys to kind of pull a little bit of extra weight. Right now, the season, we've got enough season to say, hey, we need to get a little more offense from Semien. If you want to chime in, go ahead before I start.
Well, I think the one thing I would say is that Marcus Semien is top 10 hitting with runners in scoring position, but that really doesn't do a whole lot of good if no one's on base in front of you.
Yep.
So, as good as he's been with runners in scoring position, it's been a real damper with Tavares,
Right.
Heim, anybody that's been at the bottom of the lineup not getting on base in front of him. He's moved to the 3-hole and he's had a couple of RBIs in that spot, and so far a couple of hits with runners in scoring position. So I I don't know if a change in the lineup is going to help things. I'm not sure. Again, I mean, if you've got a guy like Marcus Semien, who's a top 10 hitter with runners in scoring position, you might as well put him behind the two guys on your team that get on at the highest clip in Semien and Smith. So, yes, I agree that the numbers have not been there. There's been times where it's looked like he hasn't been cognate at the plate even. Like, I mean, like 1 for 54, runs like that. Those are not what you need from a guy, A, hitting out of your leadoff hole, and B, a guy that you're paying $180 million to over a 7-year span. So I do agree with those things. I also agree that there are bright sides to what Marcus Semien's been doing this year. And but I also agree that they do need more from him because they were signing a guy that was second or third in the MVP race the year that they signed him, and they moved him to second base to get him into a position to be in a lineup with another big time bat in Corey Seager. So I, as much as I do agree with what you're saying, I do agree. I also do believe that Semien has been a little bit better player than what the Rangers have allowed him to be, as far as the people around him as well. So the struggles of the other guys have put, struggles into him as well. So it's been I guess what I'm really trying to say is it's really been a team effort, brother.
And I agree, and I don't. I agree, but I also think that like this is part of the making $500 million. This is what you get. Like you get to take the blame for when things don't go right. That's just part of the deal, and that's the conversation that as fans we deserve the right. We reserve the right to have those conversations because in my mind, if you're looking at Corey Seager batting 300, on base at a 380 clip and slugging 550, and you're looking at Marcus Semien hitting 280, on base at a 350, slugging at 490, you might be looking at a different offensive outcome because it doesn't just affect them. It also affects the guys hitting in front of them.
Well, and the guys hitting behind them.
Yeah, if you're not afraid of Marcus Semien, you're certainly gonna come hard out. You're not gonna.
Well, you're getting that out there, and you're not pitching to Corey Seager or now with him behind him. But we'll see what happens these last couple of months. And I agree with you. I think that
if these guys go on a run,
the onus has to be on them to be the leaders of this team and the guys that, if they're going to get the credit for when the Rangers win a World Series, they also have to take some of the blame for a team that's 500 when you're bringing back the entire lineup for the most part. So,
and kind of going to Adolis Garcia, and why I'm not really harping on him, Jonah Heim, Nathaniel Lowe, is it's really all about the money.
Well,
really,
I feel like I kind of have that spot to like harp on Adolis Garcia because I was absolutely ready to send him away this past offseason. So, as much as I know why they didn't do it and I know that they couldn't do it, I get all of that. But yes, okay. So, but I can harp on him a little bit because I saw that coming with him and Nate Lowe and those guys that they had career years, and that if there's a big return to have on Adolis Garcia, I would have liked to have it because I knew Langford and Carter are coming off of the prospect list and they're going to have a strong farm going into this season. But at the same time, I love Adolis Garcia. I love Nate Lowe. I love Corey Seager. I love Marcus Semien. I love those guys. I want to see them play better. And again, I'm hoping for them to catch fire here in the last couple of months, and the Rangers get things together because 4.5 ain't too bad. It ain't like it's the end of the world. And
imagine Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Adolis Garcia, because Nathaniel Lowe hasn't been he hasn't been terrible. Been terrible.
I still want to see more slug from that guy, and I feel like he's a walk monger sometimes. And
I lump him in right now. Performance with Semien and Seager, that he's like a tick below like what we need from
Yeah,
him.
because he's making like 12.
And he's not like Heim and Garcia right now. Like those guys are,
No, I agree.
really, and
Tavares
really
too. You could
Tavares.
put as
Yeah,
much as I
those
love you guys.
are-
Everybody on this show knows how much I love Leody Tavares, but he's
Yeah.
been struggling this year.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was not a great year for Evan Carter to miss the whole season.
No, but I'll say this, and I'll go back to what I was kind of pointing out. Just imagine though, because again, like we're here, Simeon and Seager are here. Like imagine these guys though catching a little bit of fire. Like if these guys start to rise, I guarantee you the tide will rise with them because we've seen it happen before and we know it can. And I feel like with the pitching that the Rangers have coming back, with what they've equipped themselves with thus far with the trade deadline, and really the more flexibility, they have a lot more flexibility now with their roster than they had early with all these players kind of being moved around. We're not kind of tiptoeing around whether we, Wenzel's roster spot or now we got guys holding roster spots.
I mean, and they've still got some guys on the 15 that they can move to the 60 that'll open up 40-man spots, and then they don't have to make a whole bunch of decisions until post the World Series or whatever. But let's put a clean slate on this game yesterday. Michael McGreevy picks up the win. He's 1-0 in his first ever career start. 1.29 ERA after going 7 innings of 1-run ball. Andrew Heaney takes the loss. He's 4-11 with a 4.12 ERA. It wasn't a great day for the Rangers bats. I'm sure they're ready to get home. We'll come on tomorrow and we'll talk about the Rangers and the Red Sox for a little bit and get you kind of started on the day for that. And
questions tomorrow? You wanna throw out some questions?
Yeah, we could do some questions. If anybody's got some questions, hit us up on the whatever. Tell them the line of social media, and then we'll just roll right out from there.
Beautiful. So hey guys, if you got questions that you want to send in and or subjects you want to talk about, by all means hit us with it. Or hot takes on our hot takes. Like whatever you got, like send some stuff in. Give us questions if you got questions, suggestions, or hot takes that you might have, and we'll talk about them on the show, and we'll even shout you out on the show for it. But yeah, give us suggestions, give us questions if you got them, and then I'll have a couple of questions for ye old Manimal tomorrow as well, and let him pontificate on a few things, and I won't even tell him until we get on the show, just to make it fun. So yeah, we'll do some questions tomorrow. We'll preview the Rangers' upcoming weekend series, and let's get ready for a second half, like to finish this thing off. It is already way past second half. Let's go ahead and let's be optimistic here that this team, again, just 4.5 back. So if you questions, suggestions, hot takes, TX Rangers WTB. You can also go to, that's where you want to go. Any of our Instagram, Facebook, X is TX Rangers WTB. Also, if you want to hit us up individually, it's Kevin Lee Frazier. That's Frazier. You can catch me on all socials under that name. And then 300-pound Manimal. You got you got like a
Manimal Bull, Manimal 300, Bull Pro, whatever you find me at, whatever your favorite platform is. I'll get those questions out there. If you want to be a part of the Farm Hands, hit up TJ Seal.
Yeah. You want to do that. So hey, hit us up with your questions in fantasy baseball, guys. If you guys have questions on there, you can hit me up on the fantasy baseball. Don't forget to check us out on that website, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
That's all one word.
Also, you can check right there is where you can check out our exclusive content down the farm with the boys. We cover all things Rangers minor league. We've talked about it over and over tonight. Big shout out to our farm hands for subscribing. Also, check us out right here on YouTube at the Sports Fluent Network. Just go up to the search bar and hit Texas Rangers with the Boys. You'll find us, that, whatever. You'll find us. Can't miss us. Do it for the 300-pound Manimal. This is your boy, Kev. We are Texas Rangers with the Boys. We are signing out.